So blank costs more and makes Cutco more expensive, but it's worth it because Okay? So blank costs more and it makes Cutco more expensive, but it's worth it because whatever. So let me show you in my demo how I use that phrase. Okay? Alright, so I gave Bushra the knife. Here you go, Bushra. Oh, hold on. Just be careful with this. This is mine. Don't drop it. Don't get blood on it. Please. Okay? Alright, so good. Alright, so now the first thing is, how does it feel in your hand, by the way?
It's different than my knife.
Yeah, it feels much more comfortable. Well, we had a engineer, his name was Dr. Thomas Lamb. He had 700 people squeeze a bowl of clay to design design that handle. It's actually people for arthritis, doctorated with arthritis and carpal tunnel syndrome, and it's an amazing thing. It's much more comfortable. It gives you a nice grip. Your thumb and forefinger lock into place so we won't slip under it. Now, having a patented grip like that, there is no other knife in the world that has that type of grip. We have a patent on that. And so that makes our products a lot more expensive, having a patented grip. All other knives just have straight handles. But it's worth it because your hand doesn't slide onto the bottom, if you ever slip. And it's also, if you get older, if you ever have problems with your hands, that's always going to be a lot better. If you have somebody else who's a little bit older, comes over, they love using our products. So, it's totally worth that price. Now, the thermoresin, next up is thermoresin. It's made out of thermoresin. It's used with the Bull and Bulls football ones, blah, blah, blah. So, thermoresin. Okay, now, Bushra, now obviously having thermoresin handle, have you ever heard of thermoresin before? Well, that's because it's really expensive. Okay, and it's much more expensive than cheap wood or plastic, and it makes our products cost more, but it's worth it because you're not going to absorb stuff, it's not going to change colors on you, it's not going to start rotting away like wood will, it's not going to melt like plastic, and it's just a really, a good material to use in there. Okay, nickel silver rivets, okay, a full tang, Miss Jones or Bushra. We have a full tang nickel silver rivets. Now, obviously, that's going to make our products more expensive than junky knives, but it's worth it because it doesn't start to shake. It's not going to snap on you one day when you're actually cutting. It's going to be a lot more safe for you, and also the rivets, won't pop out. You're not going to get mold around them and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so you see what I'm doing? This is more expensive. That's more expensive. That's more expensive. Okay, then I put the nail in the coffin for too expensive. Okay, here's the last phrase. Okay, when you get to the steel, the next one's the steel, right? Here, marker. Surgeons pay over $20 a square inch for this type of steel. The knife in your hand is 7 inches long. I give them a word problem. Okay? So I go, so this is a steel, it's surgical steel. This is the best steel that money can buy in kitchen cutlery, Mrs. Jones. It's got the shininess, it's got the stainless quality for the shine, it's got the carbon quality for the sharpness, so that way it doesn't rust, it doesn't dull, it doesn't do any of that stuff. And surgeons pay over $20 a square inch for this type of steel. And that knife in your hand is 7 inches long. Okay? What do they do in their head?
Math.
Math. They're like, wait a second, it's like $140. And they go, so do you see why I told you not to drop it and touch the steel a lot? Wow. Okay, so that's how it goes. And sometimes I'll go, and that's not including the steel in the handle, Mrs. Jones. Same type of steel. Okay? By the time I'm done with this page, they think each knife costs $200, $300, which is what I want. And then I show them, okay, if they think each knife costs $200 or $300, then I show them a 10-piece set, and they're like, okay, and then I say twice the quality, twice the value, talking over $4,000 for a set of Cutco, they're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. No, like, okay, so because you have to build up the expectation of price, okay? And then when I say $9.92, they're like, oh man, that's pretty good, that's a good price. it's all about how you sell the product to them. If they, and by the way, all these, just so you know, surgeons do pay $20 a square inch for this type of steel. I looked it up. Look up surgical instruments and look at what a scalpel costs. Okay, the handle is only the steel. It costs like $60, $70, $80 for a scalpel. It's 2 inches long, and the handle is just stainless steel. It's junk, so it's just that little bit of steel that's left. Okay, so now here's the point. Understand, we don't spend that kind of money on the steel because surgeons buy little scalpels. We buy big, huge drums and then do all the stuff ourselves. Okay, so of steel and stamp it out and do all the the 1900 degrees and all that stuff I showed you in training. So understand, we don't pay that kind of money, but is it still worth that kind of money? Absolutely, because they're getting a great deal at $982, and you need to be able to say that to customers and be like, it should cost more. Okay, it really should cost more. So that has to be communicated to them. All right. So also write these two words down. Double D technology. Okay, like when they cut the rope. Aren't they excited they cut the rope? All right. So here's what you do. So by the way, you don't always have to be jumping up and down. Like, so they cut the ropes. I have them use their knives. They cut with ours. They cut with ours. They go, wow. I go, Mr. Jones, do you know why it cuts so well? Okay. And I kind of lean in and lower my voice. Okay. And guess what they do? They do the same thing. They go, why? Okay. Like sometimes if I'm having fun, I'll be like, they cut the rope and I go, Mrs. Jones, do you know why it cuts so well? And they look around too. They're like, right? Like it's some secret. Okay? They're like, why? I go, that's called the double D technology. Okay? It is amazing. All right? And the way it works, I don't even use the picture. I draw it. I take a piece of paper and draw it every time. I go, so you have the straight edge, and the straight edge hits the hard stuff, and so it goes dull. So you have to keep sharpening all the time, which is so annoying. And then if you have a serrated edge, a lot of people have that, like you saw with the rope, it just rips and shreds stuff up. But what we do is we combine the two edges, and it goes like this, and it goes like this, and so that way there's 3 edges in between, and therefore it doesn't hit anything hard. And we have a patent on that, and this way it cuts just like a straight edge, but it's on the angle, so it keeps it from dulling. So that's why our knives last so long, and that's why it cuts so well. And it's just, isn't that awesome? I get them into it, okay? And I draw the picture and I talk about it and all that kind of stuff, all right? So they're excited about it now, and I talk about our technology. I go, Ms. Jones, have you ever seen that technology on any other knife? Isn't technology expensive? Yeah, okay. So like, have you ever seen that technology on a knife? No. So yes, we have patents on all this stuff, and obviously it makes our products cost more. But Ms. Jones, that's why people buy our product, because they never have to buy this stuff again. That's why it lasts so long, and that's why it's worth every penny. So, and sometimes I'll have customers at this point that are like, look, these things are really good. We're not going to be able to afford this stuff. That's what I want to do. I want to depress them. This is depress your customer page. I want them thinking I'm not going to be able to afford this stuff. Good. I want you to think you can afford it. So when I say $992, you're like, that's it? I thought it was going to be thousands. Okay, so that's what you have to do. So build more value. All right, everybody understand that? Too expensive. Go away. This stupid one. Not now, later, gotta think about it, gotta talk to my dog, gotta talk to my cat, gotta, to consult the genie before I okay, alright, so here's the point, okay? This one gives reps the biggest trouble, and it's the easiest one to handle, okay? Because it's not a real objection, okay? It's what's called a smoke screen objection, okay? And it's a smoke screen, like the customer says, I gotta think about it. And you're like, well, what's the problem? What do you got to think about? Okay, like you don't know what to say. Okay, and so it messes reps up. And it's easy. It's easy if you handle beforehand, and it's easy to handle afterwards. But I'm not going to teach you that today. All right. So how do you handle this before it comes up? Really simple. Okay. The 15-day trial period. So let me give you more. Stuff in your demo that you can do. Okay. And again, you just keep handling it before it comes up. So anytime you don't want a customer to say something, what do you have to do? Say it first. Yeah. If you say it first, you win. If they say it first, they win. Okay? So you have to say it before they say it. So I go, Mrs. Jones, so this is the last part of the guarantee. It's our 15-day trial period. I'm just going to do it. You take what you want out of it. I'll do it a couple times. All right? So the last part of the guarantee, Bushra, is our 15-day trial period. Now, remember, we're in the demonstration. Okay? Like I want to make sure everybody understands that we're not like done. They haven't even seen the set yet. They haven't done any of this other stuff. Okay? So the last part of the guarantee is the 15-day trial period, Bushra. Now, what do you think of the product so far?
It's good, but it's...
You can say it's expensive. Yeah, it is. But that's why I don't sell junk. Yeah, I would never come over your house and show you junky stuff, and I wouldn't work for a junky company. But yeah, but you like the products, right? Okay. Well, you know what, Bushra, I've only showed you two. Okay, we cut the penny and we cut the piece of rope. And you know what? I haven't even showed you the products yet. I've just showed you two of them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all this other stuff.